We all have expectations, and those expectations are focused on the physical. Those expectations shape our lives and the way that we live. They shape the decisions that we make. And on top of that, we all have routines, and those routines are comfortable for us. Those routines meet in line with the expectations that we have. But the problem is that all these expectations, all these things that we focus on are physical, are finite. In the physical and the things that we can see and we can know. But what's important is what we cannot see. What's important is what we cannot predict. And it's spoken about in Scripture time and time again. Christ came, and He's coming again. John 14 says, "Believe in God, believe also in me. I go to prepare a place for you, so that I'll take you to be with me." He's coming again. And yet our lives, our everyday lives, are all focused on the here and now, on the physical comforts that we have. We lose sight of that. We have a finite focus, where our focus should be eternal. Our focus should be on what we cannot predict. 1 Thessalonians 5 says that we don't know the time of Christ's coming, and even Jesus Himself says that the coming of Christ will be like a thief in the night. It's something we cannot predict. And so we're called in 1 Peter to be sober-minded and to be watchful. But what does that mean, to be watchful? It's that very shift. It's that very shift in our focus that needs to take place, where we're not just living for the day-to-day, we're not just living for the physical comforts of this world, we're living with an eternal focus, knowing that our lives shape our spiritual future. But 1 Thessalonians 5 also says that although we cannot predict the coming of Christ, we do know how we ought to live, and how we ought to live in preparation for that time. We ought to live in preparation for a time because we know that Christ has given us the opportunity to prepare for this. And we prepare for this by having that shift in our focus from the physical, from the finite to the eternal, that our everyday lives, our day-to-day activities, all our decisions are geared towards that eternal focus. And that focus is on living for Christ, glorifying Christ, making every decision for Christ, and looking to bring other people to have that same focus. So the question is, do you live with that eternal focus? Do you live every day not just expecting the physical, but expecting that Christ could come at any moment? Because that's the truth of the matter. We live in our comforts, we live in what we know, we live in what we can control, but we could be living one day and the next we're gone.